So my dad grew up skating transition back in the day. He grew up skating like backyard pools and stuff. And he was pretty good at it. I've seen some like old videos and photos and stuff. He had some tricks. And then he always wanted me to, he was always pushing me to drop into like the biggest vert ramp at the Vans Milpitas skate park. Did you ever go there back in the day? Yeah. So that's where I grew up skating a lot before we had our own park. And I was always too scared to drop in though. So I would go up there, like think about it. And then like, next time I'm not ready.
This is when you were like 10, right? Like little.
No, this is when I was probably 8, maybe 7 actually. Yeah.
So the ramp is
13 foot.
Really big compared to you.
Yeah. And slippery.
13 foot's big for a vert ramp, right?
That's general size now, but back then it was big.
Yeah. So I finally get myself to go for it one day, and it took me so long to try it, but do it good the first one. And I was so hyped, and I was just classic little kid, like, oh my God, that was so sick. Watch that. I'm going to go do it again. Next one, I just leaned forward too far, skipped too much of the transition, just died.
Oh.
Hit my face, busted my lip, everything. Yeah.
Hit your face.
Dude, I got destroyed.
Did that scare you straight? Is that why you're the best street skater now?
Yeah, did you drop in again after that?
Definitely not that day, but it probably took a few weeks after that to go for it again. But no, I mean, I would say right off the bat, I was automatically drawn a lot more to street skating because I grew up watching all the street skating videos, all like the flip videos, the S videos, Ardo, Rowley, all those guys. But here's another one that's really funny on my dad's part. He was always trying to get me, as you know, he pushed me a lot to skate the biggest rails and just go for shit that I probably wasn't ready for. And then this is a funny one though. He had this idea that for some reason, he wanted me to be the youngest kid to do a 540.
Oh no.
And
I respect that.
And he would mention it all the time, and I'd be like, dude, like I'm not even good enough at skating transition to do a 540. But we had this mini ramp that he built in our backyard. I think it was like a 7 foot. Was the main part of the ramp, and then I had like a 9-foot extension, and I would go back there and skate it. But I would more do some lip tricks and disasters, like some back 360s and stuff. I wasn't really a big air guy.
You did backside 360s?
Just like not like above the coping, but just a little one.
That's still
little kid style.
Kind of harder than 5s, right? Kind of
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, he just wouldn't let it go though. So I think I maybe like just kind of tried a couple just to. Like
grabbing it
just to please him,
540.
or grabbing it.
Wow.
Yeah, because he wanted it to be like proper, like
Did you grab melon
above the coping. I would grab melon. Yeah.
Ollie into
but
it
no,
though, right?
I never came very close. But it's just so funny that he wanted me to try that. I was just like, it was so out of my skills on transition.
Yeah.
But I get it. If he's like old school like us, that was like. It's like one of those tricks where it might not be the hardest trick that you can do on vert, but it's definitely in layman's terms the most impressive.
Yeah.
You know, like when Mike McGill first did it, like I remember seeing a photo of it in a magazine. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
And the balls to like tuck your shoulder and look away for another turn. It's so
do a
crazy
1.5
to
somersault
commit to it, you know?
Yeah.
And then when I remember like people first trying it, like to me it was just I closed my eyes for like the first 10, you know, like every time I tried it, I was just like, I saw a video of people doing it and I was like, I'm just going to keep my chin to my shoulder and I'm going to close my eyes. And then when I feel like I'm coming around, open and see what's happening. Like, I think the first one I ever made, I closed my eyes like when I landed. Cause I was like,
First one I made, I held onto my board as I landed and all the way through the flat.
Yeah.
It was not leaving my side. I was just like, I'm holding on. I'm just going to make
That's
this
sick.
thing.
That's sick.
Were you terrified trying it?
Yes. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing.
Did you express that to your dad?
I mean, he was always the type of dad that it was hard to like express things to because he was very stuck in his ways of the way he thought about things. But I think eventually it got past the point of me being the youngest person to do it. I think I don't know who it was, but I think he knew the youngest person that did it. So then once it got past that, he let it go.
Oh, once you got to a different age? Damn it, he's 9 now. It's too late.
Oh, man.
Man, who was it?
Who was the?
Who was the youngest? Who's the youngest 540?
I don't know. I mean, nowadays,
Yeah, now it doesn't count.
Now there's probably a little 3-year-old.
there's some
kid.
6-year-old in some tiny town, Japan, that
There's
just
like
did
little
a 720.
mushrooms that can do 900s now.
A mushroom?
That's what they look like with the helmet. It just looks like a mushroom spinning, man. I'm like, what the
It's
hell?
so Mario.
It is. It looks like Mario Kart. There's some video. I don't even know who it is. There's some kid out there that just. He's doing like back-to-back 900s, and he's just like he pumps.
Oh,
his
yeah,
hands
yeah,
on his
yeah,
knees
yeah,
because he's got no legs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a freaking mushroom
Yeah,
man.
it was either M or AO, but yeah,
Was
those
it?
kids are insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the most recent one that kid did? Was it a 1080 or what was it?
Nah.
Well,
Mitchie
Mitchie did 1260
Yeah.
on
okay.
the mega ramp.
But what on
X
vert
Games.
though?
On vert 1080 gi did a 1080. Yeah.
And that kid's young, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He can do a 900
He
out
can
of a
spin.
lip slide.
Yeah, he can
Wait,
spin
so he
anything.
did 1080. So he did fakie and landed regular.
Fakie landed regular.
Got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
Mhm.
He was
But
the
he-
first one to do that.
On a regular
On a
vert
vert,
ramp.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He has a crazy flat spin. Like the way he spins fives.
I've seen, yeah.
It's like he does 900s like he does 540s, where you can tell like he can see way more of it. Like I don't
Yeah.
care who you are, everyone that's ever made a 900, you're losing a little bit of sight on something for a second.
Yeah.
This guy's like
No,
two,
he's spinning a
like he
different-
can see it.
Yeah,
You
he's
can tell.
spinning on a different
Like he'll
plane.
control it. He'll adjust his foot on it. Like he does them in contest rides like that X Games where he was doing judo 900s, and I'm like, did you?
Oh, and Nolly 9.
Nolly.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
He just has you can tell his spin. The biggest one is a lip slide into a 900, and
Yeah.
his 900 is like 4 foot high.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
what?
wait, how do you do a 4 foot high 900? I'm like, he does.
Have you ever explored doing fives downstairs or anything? Like fakie?
Fakie. I think there's a couple people that have done them down some small.
Yeah, I was going to
sets,
say, I know
yeah.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah. I'm Evan Smith
Yep.
would do them.
Mhm.
Nose grab. Nose
Whoa,
grab
you
5.
grab.
Land fakie, yeah.
Lamb fakie. I was thinking
Yeah.
more like Caballero, but then extra turn.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one too, but yeah, Evan has a sick one. Yeah.
Dang.
But you've done like a 270 lip and then 270 out.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I've done the like fakie, the cab flip with an extra turn on like hips before.
Right.
That one works. Yeah.
Amazing.
I know, right?
But let's talk about this 900 situation a little bit though. So like when you, because
I didn't see this coming.
Wait, what?
This is great to be able to ask you about this. So like when you're
Is it his podcast?
when you're spinning like that, like do you get dizzy, or 'cause
Uh,
I feel like the average person would just have even when they
you don't
landed,
get
they wouldn't
dizzy.
know where they are.
You don't get dizzy. You get disoriented, especially the first time you try it. You have no idea where you are, right? And so you're hoping that you're gonna come around face down, like on your knees.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I ever tried it in '87, I landed on my back.
Mm-hmm.
So I spun. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get around." All of a sudden, I was sliding down the ramp backwards, looking at the coping, like, "Oh, that didn't work."
Yeah.
And then
And were the falls just brutal or what?
yeah, I shelved it then because I was just like, I don't have what it takes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was more that it wasn't that I couldn't spin, or it wasn't that I didn't have the height. It was more that I didn't have the confidence to go that many. Even though I thought I was going to do it, at some point after 1.5 spins, I was like, "Fuck it," and I would open up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's more because you've done it and other people have done it. Because when I started trying it, it had already been done.
Mm-hmm.
But I did one the other day. I spammed one the other day accidentally because I was doing a 5 and I looped out right when I took off, and I accidentally did a 5 on the way up. And then when I got to the peak of the 5, I was like, my buddy was going around that way. And I'm like, you got to be joking me. And I had to like tuck and go around again. I'm like, and Bucky was there. He's like, dude, you just span a 900. I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't want to. That's different. But
That's crazy.
But there was a time there where if you did do that extra spin, you were out of your mind.
But also,
yeah.
but to answer your question, if you go up with the intention of doing 900 and you only spin a 5 and you open up, that puts you way further out on the wall.
Yeah.
That second spin brings you back to the wall. So the most dangerous thing you can do is to intend to do 900, only do a 540, and then you're just looking out over the flat.
Yeah.
And you got a long way to fall. So
Damn.
anyone out there want to try nines,
Stay tucked.
after you go 540, keep spinning. Even if you don't have a hold of your board, even if you don't know where you are, keep spinning because that'll bring you back to the wall.
Make sure your body at least does.
Make
the
sure your
9.
body does a 2.5 spin.
Yeah. Wow. And then, I mean, I feel like rolling away from it is a whole nother thing, though, because I picture rolling away from that, your shoulders would just want to keep turning. Yeah. Unless you did it how you landed that one in X Games.
The first one I landed was more of an arc.
Yeah.
You know, I was
carving. But the one you landed in X Games, you kind of like slid into it perfectly. Yeah. Where I feel like if you over rotate at all or even land straight, you're just going to keep going.
That's why I do it in a carving one, in an arc. Okay. Because then you can kind of, the dirty secret is you don't have to spin as much if you carve it.
Yeah.
But also it's easier to land straight on a diagonal.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to go straight up and down, like Guy does it straight up and down every time, and that is the danger factor of crazy, like an over rotate and then back of your head is exponential.
But he makes it look like a 720.
Yeah.
But I was there when he did that first 900, and I was on the transition because I was working for X Games, and when he spun one and landed and whipped off, his helmet kind of came off a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna do it."
Yeah.
But I also was thinking to myself with my skateboard brain, there's that little section where as he puts it down and stands up, I don't know how he stops everything from spinning because he's spinning so hard. Like I was like, God, Tony Hawk and God combined will maybe make that work out because I was
there's a point where if you've done it, you start to sense when you can open up and find the landing. And so I finally figured out that I could go a little more straight up, and I know where I am. It's just experience. Like, that's all it is. And to answer your question, you get dizzy. You don't get dizzy because it's all happening in 1 second, and you're not continually spinning. You know what I mean?
If you get dizzy, you're dead.